All right, good morning. My name is Dr. Adeni Adeyinka. I'll be talking about hepatitis today. Yes, when you hear the word hepatitis, you wonder what it is, and a lot of people say a lot of things about it. I'll be focusing on hepatitis B this morning. And what is it about hepatitis B? But before I go further, I also want you to know that we have different types of hepatitis. We have hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E. But among them all, the most notorious is hepatitis B. However, we have hepatitis C, but it is not a vaccine preventable disease as much. So the rate is also as infectious as B, but B is more notorious and more deadly. So what is hepatitis? Hepatitis is infection of the liver, inflammatory conditions occurring in the liver as a result of a viral condition. So hepatitis B is an infection caused by the B type of the virus. So when it affects the liver, it causes a lot of problems, like it cause infection of the liver. The liver will begin to reduce in the liver lifespan will begin to reduce because the infection is affecting the liver. But why do I choose to talk about it today is because it is a vaccine preventable disease, and it's something many people out there are having and they do not know. In fact, a lot of people come and say, Doctor, I don't know how I've contracted it, but it is something we need to talk about and how we can prevent it and how we need to take care of yourself. And if you're infected, the way forward is what I'll be discussing with you this morning. Hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C. So for hepatitis A, the difference is that hepatitis A is through fecal-oral route. We call it through mouth, maybe through the mouth. Someone has defecated somewhere and maybe you use the toilet, you do not wash your hand, and by omission or by mistake, you find you're trying to eat and you introduce it. So, but for hepatitis B, it is hepatitis, before I leave hepatitis A, it also affects the liver, but it doesn't cause as much havoc. It also affects the liver, but the havoc is not as much as hepatitis B. So for B, the havoc on the liver is much, and C2, the havoc discussing on the liver is also much, and it can also lead to liver and end-stage liver failure, which the B type B2 can also cause, but the more troublesome one is that of hepatitis B. So well, hepatitis D2 is also present, hepatitis E is also present. So we have them in different forms. The major thing is that they affect the liver and they are of different strain. If you're infected with hepatitis B, what you need to do is, as soon as you do your test to check if there's what we call the surface antigen. After noting that you have this hepatitis B surface antigen, the next thing you need to do is to visit the doctor to do some further tests. So they will do some other tests for you to check your liver, to check there are other parameters, we call them serologic markers. The hepatitis B, envelope antigen, core antigen, the IgM, the IgG, to see the way your body is responding to the hepatitis. So you can have it in your system and sometimes it can be dormant, but however you need to follow up because you don't know when it will become very active. So because some will say they've been having it for some years and it has not done anything to them. Of course, some might have generated an antibody that is a protection against it, but which is not the same for everybody. We cannot decipher, or we cannot just come up with a guideline saying, oh, everybody that has it is protected. So we cannot distinguish between those who will build immunity against it and those who will never. So that is why it is good for everyone to even check their hepatitis B status at all times. So when you commence the treatment, you be on tablets for a very long time and you don't stop the medication. So it's something that will be on the system for a very long time. It doesn't clear. It is just like HIV too. It doesn't clear out of the body. So it's something you need to take seriously. But however, it as much as it is deadly, it doesn't mean it would make you useless for life. It would also, it's a condition that can also be there for life and you will still live your regular life. But you just need to take care of yourself and ensure you do follow all the rules and regulations given by doctors saying you. So but every patient needs to see a doctor, because the management, the way you are reacting and the way the outcome of your results will also determine a major part of the modality of treatment for whichever person who is affected. And when you come in at a late stage, that the liver cannot, that the liver is already, you're having liver cirrhosis, a condition where the liver cells are already gone and they can't come back again. When you have liver cirrhosis, the next thing you are going to have is you have a liver failure. The liver will not be able to function. So before getting to that stage, it is early. It is better to pick this thing on time for you to have a better health. You will be able to take caution in managing yourself and doing what you need to do to get better. For the signs and symptoms of hepatitis, sometimes it can be asymptomatic. That is, you might not have any symptoms sometimes, and you can also equally have symptoms. So you have the general symptoms of, you have early body weakness, and sometimes another indicator is that you can just realize that your eyes is getting yellow. As soon as you notice that, you realize that your eyes is getting yellow, you need to see the doctor to look out, to check out the possible cause of the yellowness of the eye. There are different causes of the yellowness of the eye. Hepatitis B is one of them. So you need to go and rule out the fact that it is not hepatitis B. And if it is not hepatitis B, if there are other causes, you need to be addressed in the hospital. So when you start having other symptoms, which include getting tired easily, body weakness, body fatigue, you are eating and you get satisfied easily. You have a plate of rice. After taking 1 spoon or 2 spoons, you are satisfied. You that would finish a bowl of rice before. These symptoms are not too specific. They can be the same for some other symptoms that are not hepatitis. That is why doing the test will single hepatitis B out, and we will be able to know, having done some investigation, to know that, okay, this is the possible cause. So we have non-specific symptoms that will occur, and there are other things that can also follow up with it. So to avoid end-stage liver cancer, you can to end-stage liver failure and liver cancer, you need to start treatment on time, know your status, and get vaccinated. Hepatitis B can lead to liver cancer. It can lead to liver cancer because when it comes in stages, when it can come, some will have fatty liver, from fatty, usually it can come fatty liver, from fatty liver to liver cirrhosis. From liver cirrhosis, it will lead to liver failure. From liver failure, it will become cancerous. It will transform. But not everybody gets to liver cancer, but it can lead to liver cancer. We need to be aware of that. Then another aspect I want to talk about is that hepatitis B is vaccine preventable. You need to be vaccinated. As soon as you are negative, all your household needs to be vaccinated. When you take all your household to the hospital and they are negative, ensure they are vaccinated. But if you are positive, you can't be vaccinated because it is very deadly, and we know, knowing fully well that without being vaccinated, you will get this. It is better to get vaccine to prevent some of the complications that can occur thereafter. So when you are vaccinated, you will prevent yourself from having this condition. So it is good to be vaccinated. So anytime you do your hepatitis B and you realize that you are negative, ensure you receive the vaccine. It comes in 3 doses. The first day, 1 month after, and 6 months after, and ensure you have it. It is good because when you have it, the chances of getting it from someone reduces, or the chances of getting it. Then after every 10 years, you also need to get a booster dose to boost yourself, to prevent yourself from having the hepatitis B condition. The development of hepatitis B doesn't have an age because when a mother is infected, the mother can pass it to the baby. So that is why as soon as the baby is delivered, we give what we call hepatitis B immunoglobulin. So when the baby is delivered, before breastfeeding, before giving anything at all, you will administer this immunoglobulin to prevent the baby from having the hepatitis B. So that is how you prevent it. It can be passed. It cannot just self-generate itself at all. It can be passed from one person to another. It is passed. So The child will be protected from having, and the child will also continue other vaccines, hepatitis B vaccines, as scheduled by immunization, national immunization schedule plan for children. For the dietary plan, I've run into a lot of patients that decided not to eat a lot of things. You can eat, but you just need to be very careful that you don't eat things that are infected. I forgot to mention that there are some things that can increase the progress of the disease condition. Number one, alcohol. Alcohol will rapidly progress the condition. Alcohol needs to be discontinued as much as possible. Stop taking alcohol, because alcohol, the liver takes care of alcohol, so you're overburdening the liver, and at the end of the day, the liver is fighting the virus, and you also expect the liver to also help you to break down alcohol, because the major organ of the body that breaks down the alcohol is the liver. It will be overwhelming, and the liver is fighting multiple battles at the same time. So the liver will have to choose its battle to fight. So you have to avoid alcohol as much as possible. Then another second thing in our environment that we need to be aware of is herbal concussion. Herbal concussion too will also progress the liver. You know, by the time you see this lab, they mix a lot of condiments for you. They will tell you, take this, take that, take this, take that. At the end of the day, it's a burden on the liver, because it is the liver that helps to detoxify anything you take in. Anything you take into your mouth to go through the liver. And the liver function is to protect your body from danger. So the numbers of danger in each concussion, because in a concussion, we know the regular concussion we have now, you can have 20 things in one concussion. And at the end of the day, some of these things are working on your liver, and they start reducing the function of your liver with it. So you also need to be very careful with excessive taking of oily food. You need to be aware of oil. I'm not saying you shouldn't add oil to your food, but however, it is not that it will be sufficient for you to swim on. Because when you check some of our soup, we love oil a lot, that you can start swimming at the top of your soup at home. So you need to avoid that. Then avoid infected fruits that are infected already, or fruits that are spoiled. Beans that are having aflatoxin, there's what we call aflatoxins. Aflatoxin, usually in nuts, like for example beans. There's a weevil, that weevil beans, as much as possible, avoid it. When your beans is spoiled, don't eat it. When you have your fruits, if they are already infected, or you see that this fruit is infected, don't cut the rotten part away. Ensure that you dispose the whole fruit, because they contain things, aflatoxins, that will affect you. Even all grains, you ensure that your grains are properly rinsed, and you separate the ones that are destroyed by some of these insects, because like I said, they contain aflatoxins to prevent, to care for your livers. Then your vegetables should be properly rinsed. A lot of insects can be hiding under the leaves. When you are properly rinsed, you do that with it. So you can eat every other thing. Avoid red meat is a problem, so you also need to avoid red meat. Do white meat and chicken. Then ensure you do more fruits and vegetables. Stay well hydrated, and those ones will help, will care for your kidney. All right, thank you for your time. Thank you for always listening to us here on the Galaxy TV. So if you have any question on some of the topic I have discussed, you can do well to reach out to us on our social medias and our phone numbers. We'll be glad to receive your questions and also give you feedback. Thank you. Have a lovely day ahead.